All right. Good evening. If you guys are watching this back on YouTube, this is going to be our Sunday prep. We're going to start as we do most of the weeks. And we're going to look at the economic data ahead of us. We did this on Friday. Something was wrong with that file. So FOMC is going to be starting us out on Monday. Not much. This is a short week. So Friday, we do not have a trading day. So we're going to have to get everything that we need to get done Monday through Thursday. Tuesday, no data. Wednesday, two sets of data at 8:30 pre-market, and then Thursday we've got important data and unemployment claims. So, um, Sensei, yeah. I was just talking about that last week about all the companies that actually make shit in China. But one day this will be over, hopefully. All right. So futures have already opened. So we're going to use NQ and ES as ways to guide us in the setup that we have currently on the 4 hour, right? So what this entails, or what this says to me, folks, is that we have, and my drawing here was rather accurate. We'll see if it plays out, but that pop up gap fill. So we should be opening up somewhere in between this gap, right? That's where we want that's not a bad place to open up, but it does mean that where we might have to sit on our hands on Monday. Um, being that you have price moving up overnight and then coming right back down to the open. So that assumes that we move back down to the 18.8. But this does set us up for, right? If you gap up and then you fail, like you could pop right back up on Monday and then pull back. And that's where we're looking at this box, right? So this is going to help us both sides of the trade. The box, same box as it is here. We'll move to the 2 hour, right? So above, and this is actually the good thing, folks. If we are above 259 or 459, there's a good chance that we can, not a good chance, but that means that we can, on the higher time frames, come to a conclusion on whether it's closing back under 458.90. And if we do, that would, and more than likely, lead us back down to 450, and that could set up the leg down in the empty space underneath us. I think for a play, that is actually something that I would love to see happen. Now, let's talk about the upside. Because on the 30-minute, we know we have this tiny little box right here. And you'll never guess. That's where you open up, and that's where you have pushed down. So a recovery of 19,250, right, would have us over cost basis and looking at a new high. My opinion is that you'll have to come back down and retest that gap. Possibly right now you're holding up above this wall right here. So underneath that, we'll get that gap filled. But, you know, if price opens up here, that leaves all of this space to be filled back up. So I got news from Diego Garcia, fam. FOMC Monday? No, just FOMC speakers. That's it. All right. So anyway, that's the cues. Anything and everything that's going to be done, I'm going to save it for 15. I'm not going to do lower time frame analysis right now. We're going to wait until obviously our turn, which is market open, and we'll tomorrow morning look at this in greater detail. So, moving on, let's take a look at ES, S&P mini futures. Like SPY or like the cues, obviously gapping up, moving up, and we can go to the 24-hour and kind of observe this a little bit better. There is the possibility, and this could be true with the cues as well, we are still in a range, right? So to somebody else's point, there's been, you know, somebody saying that we have some upside potential. There is definitely the potential here. If you look at setups like Apple and stuff, it definitely is a possibility for us to potentially go higher, with next week's first target being right here, right? So moving down into the lower time frame, right? We need to be above 5.5 and going and filling that gap. This really doesn't do much because Qs are outside of their previous resistance, but ES is not. So not a substantial gap up, but it does put us in a position to bounce and move up and test that 5.5 and maybe get that gap fill up, right? And if I want to take this higher, then I would want to see, yeah, I would want to see that gap fill in that 5.5, 5.8, 5.582. And then on the 4 hour, this turns into a box. So we could even raise up that price target a little bit up to 5.6. So how do you confirm your entry into a trade? Franny, I do that by typically looking, if I found a 24-hour setup, I'm using lower time frame setups to play that. And I'm waiting for candle closes above or below or through certain areas of consolidation. So candle closes are going to be one of the defining factors on how we get into certain trades. So, oh my God, Jose. Crazy. Crazy. Wow. Nice crypto trade, dude. Musty, no problem, man. Glad you guys are benefiting from it. We've had some pretty big trades, so. Am I setting limit orders? If I can, yeah, of course. All right, now, God damn it, what is the, help me out, guys. What is the IWM RTY? Never mind. Wait, RTY. There we go. E. Russell's Mini Futures. So this one, and again, we can take a look at IWM here, compare, contrast, 24-hour, right? Still inside of a range. So we can look at the 24-hour, very well-defined range here that we're blocked up in. But we are above this box, right? So this does give us the opportunity to potentially move down. And this could be a trade, you know, even futures trader stake. But right here, right, we're looking for a move up to around cost basis at 1900. But we had a rejection at 19.5. So this, again, like everything else, sets us up for the potential punch down or a bounce and a move back up. So not a hard setup. But again, you are still in range, and we're looking for this range to break. IWM has a pretty good trade above 190 all the way up to 198, almost 200. So there's a good setup here as well. We'll cover that more in depth in the morning. All right. So I have to sleep now. I live in Germany. This will be on YouTube, so if you need to watch it back, it'll be there. All right. So these are our ETFs, right? I don't think, in my opinion, and this is okay, this is how we save ourselves pain, I don't think there's an immediate setup until tomorrow, right? Right now, yes, there is a good enough gap up to get us out of that range, and all we have to do is read and react to these lower time frames. So it's not, in my opinion, shouldn't be an issue. This week could be pretty good, whether it's a punch down or a bounce back up. There should be opportunities to make some decent money. So not a terrible setup, but not a signal quite yet. I do not live in Germany. I live in Georgia. Right around the corner from Germany. So, all right. If you have a request or anything that you would like for me to take a look at, we're going to try to find some individual setups that fit the script. So if you have anything that you would like for me to, is that a Foster's beer can? No. Yeah. All right. So I see Merck here, and we'll go full screen now. All right, Merck. So on the 24-hour candle close, you did close below 78.70. You are still definitively in range. It's an awful range, but it's a range nonetheless. On the 4-hour, that breaks down, right? And it does actually end up showing a lack of structure. So I could see more sideways action, right? You have a little bit of a pop out here, end of day. You hit the imbalance at 79.50, which separates you from retesting all the way back up at 81, which is still a possibility. So I would be looking at the wicks here at 79.40, and if you can break out above that, then you have easy play upside, sorry. That should show itself on the hourly. You also have a box, right? And that punch down could give you another leg down into that $76 mark and maybe a breakdown if we're still falling aggressively. So I'm surprised bro is not at Coachella. I've never gone to anything like that. I'm not a big festival guy. Or, yeah. Let's see, MU. Not a bad setup. Not a bad setup at all. In fact, you have a upside potential here with cost basis at 70.50 to get you up over 72.60. And we have a nice little channel here that's describing potential future price action up with empty space, a lot of it, all the way up to $84, right? So that is the potential up. The potential down is underneath, right? This box right here. And that would be a mark of 65.30. So you have good signals upside and downside. I think inevitably we could see that pop up or gap up and a move into that 74.72. So not a bad setup. Lower time frame obviously, and on the 24-hour you are still in range, but this lower time frame setup could get you up and out of here. We got kids now, ain't no time for festivals. Yeah, straight up. I'm not taking my kids to a festival. My son's gonna see some shit he'll never forget. All right. Let's see what else. What do we got? We got T. Doctor says I'm low on this. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. All right. So there is like so many other stocks, you very much have a great deal of tension. I would not doubt at all that above 27.30 you should be moving up to 27.90, and 28.60 would be an extra treat, right, in the end of that empty space. And that would be accomplished with a move over 27.25, which you have not done yet. So that's what I see. Sean, yeah, IV, man. Yeah, that was a big issue for luckily we were able to get away with a lot playing really far out of the money, but Franny, this is empty space right there. You see how there's just no box. If it's flushing, what's up, Ivy? If it's flushing, then that's what empty space is like or is created. So that's a great example on this chart. All right. Yes, this will be on YouTube. So this is pretty ugly. You need a candle close above 13.45 in order to accomplish anything here. And I would on the 4-hour adjust that so it looks like this, because you need to reclaim 13.25 to go up, and you need to move through that median at 14 even to keep moving, right? With basically the potential to go and hit 16 on this, but you don't have that signal quite yet, and you have struggled to, more than once to get onto that floor. So it could be more of this, or if it fails, even one of these. So you know what needs to happen up. Yes, empty space gets filled, Shiv. And the way that it gets filled is exactly you get no. Those aren't gap ups or gap downs. Even this right here can be described as empty space, and you see how quickly it gets filled. And that's what gives us the availability to buy contracts out of the money and target based. And this helps out a lot when you're trying to lower your risk but heighten the reward. Because if you know how something moves, right, you can play that IV pump. The gains last week were ridiculous. All right. You could call it an imbalance, whatever you want to call. I call it the imbalance for me is the 50% mark inside of empty space. But how I don't care to like over define things, you know, like that's what TTI does, you know, and he's a fucking idiot anyway. I still don't get why people think that they can be successful with a strategy and the person who created it fails to get anywhere with the Robbins Cup. I mean, he fails and blows his account every year. You'd expect for him to be in at least the top 100. He fucking blows it. So, Robert, have you had any hedge funds or brokers try to recruit you? I have. Yes, I respectfully decline. I don't want to buy. I don't want any part of that shit. I like this is freedom for me. Going to a fucking firm that's not my own is not freedom. Not always cost basis, no. BRSN, Verisign. So a lot of low liquidity here, low volume. That's your floor. You tapped it for or 248.75. So I mean, if you're looking at all-time highs, you need to see that floor recovered and cost basis at 253 punched through. Candle close. This is the 4-hour, 24-hour stays true. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking for from Verisign. We never talked highest offer. I never got offered anything. I just got approached. So yeah. All right. What do we have next? XOSL. Same thing. Obviously, if you're watching any of the ETFs, or excuse me, not ETFs, but if you're watching any of the semiconductors, right? We're building a nice little channel here. So obviously above 1060, this gives you access to a retest on the 1144 floor. So pop up, hit that. If you can punch through it, this could be a great upside play. A great upside play, right? This could be pointing out a potential rip going into next week, and I would target probably all the way up around $15. This could be a big play. I hope you guys catch that one. If you can't catch any of the individual ones, thank you, Sensei. I appreciate that. Hood. I have not gone over Mara. I think that Hood goes in at minimum hits. You're really close to 45.89. This could end up being an interesting play. Yeah, perfect cost basis. You need to go and push rapidly or gap up above 45, 46. You have a small box in the way, and that should just serve as a small obstacle to get you back up to 53. So if you're looking up, that's what I'd be looking for. What came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm absolutely certain that it was the chicken based on evolution, you know? Something else laid a chicken, you know? Like a raptor or your mom. All right. Wow, this looks eerily similar to Hood. This is simple. You need to be above 92.18 and you have a box and a target right here. 96. So I would want to see, if you're looking up, you need to see a punch over, a move up, $96, and a break. And that should give you 101.50, which is the first red or green candle to your left. Right here. My God. Sensei, are you a dude? Walmart. I'm looking. Wait, I was just about to hit Walmart. I'm not ignoring you. Also, capitalize that shit, though, bro. Gotta capitalize. Hey, Walmart with the nice little pop out there. Retest of the floor there to the left. So right now you're looking for a candle close or gap up to 93.86 to get you pumping through 96.17. And at that point, I would be looking up towards probably around 102.55 if that's a successful punchback. Oh my God, Sensei. Yeah. What's up, Jesus? Hey, Zeus, what's up, dude? Would I miss something? SoFi. Trying to get everybody's request here. Oh, that's interesting. You've already hit your box, so. Huh. Okay, so let's go to the 2 hour. So you need to be above 1075, and you probably need to be here on the hourly. Yeah, so you need 1093 reclaimed, and then you have the potential to punch through this gap. And that's just not a bad setup. I think you could go, reach up into 1215. And I mean, yeah, I mean that's what I see right in front of me. So it's like, yeah, you might just go up and retest this floor again, but you have a good setup to pop up and out. So Nike, wow. So that's going to be a great one. It's going to make there's an opportunity to make a lot of cash on this thing just simply off of the fact that you have this massive area of consolidation. Nike will be a great trade. Now, this is actually exactly what I look for, when you've not necessarily bottomed out. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, so Nike, right now inside of the box, right, you're in between the floor and the ceiling. This makes this relatively easy. If you are looking up, because this is such a wide range, above 55, I would be looking for a shot up to 57, 51. So I like that bouncing out and going and retesting that. Not bad. QUBT. This is it's a weird setup, dude. It's a really, really weird setup. Freaky. Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I liked it, but again, this just when I look at this, if you can push back up, if you can get above 750, I would be aiming up towards 963 and 1130 resistance. This is being recorded, yes. I started off with all the ETFs, guys, so if you want to watch those back, this will be on YouTube when I get done. All right. Wow. So UNH powering through without a CEO. Yeah, I'd be looking for a break. This thing looks like it could keep pushing off. Utilize this. So outside of 628.33 is where I'd be looking long. You went live 2 minutes into my run, did me dirty. Could still run, dude. Still run at the same time. All right, Marvel. Rod, because again, all analysis starts. Hold on one second. All analysis starts on the weekly, right? When we look at the weekly, we just have this kind of like candle wick down. The 24-hour, though, is perfectly in range in between 59 and 52. So that is a 24-hour higher time frame box, right? Now, as you move down, of course, there's going to be chunks that create it, right? Because you're not going to have a box with just bounce up, bounce down, but you're going to build structure within it, right? So that's how we get context clues as to when and where something will go up. This looks like everything else. Okay, so again, channels come last. You are in an area of consolidation sitting above one underneath you here, right? So if you punch down, that could be a new low, or if you can get above 54.03, you'd have an imbalance target right here at 55.90. And a second target all the way up there. So it's not a bad setup. So outside of 54, 55, 88, and 58. Why does my swing lose value even if the stock price goes up? The only thing I can think is that you had a extremely high IV position. Mihoy Minoy. Fucking hilarious. Okay, another really interesting setup here. 24-hour looks like hot boiling garbage. You have a wide ass range. So anything and everything that would be done here would have to be with lower time frame analysis. Oh my god. Allergies are killing me right now. I went to an oyster roast yesterday, and yeah, the pollen count was ridiculously high. Tesla is squeezed in between two areas of consolidation. So bullish 261.35, and obviously over Friday's high or Thursday's high or whatever, 271.80. And then to the downside, underneath 243.80, you have a leg down here. So if you gap up here and then drive down, that could be an easy play to the downside. And that would play into the hands of the... Yeah, an oyster roast. It was amazing. I got fucking hammered. I don't even remember going home. I didn't drive, so it was my problem, but I rock, paper, scissored with Peyton. We do rock, paper, scissors, and whoever wins has to drive or gets to drink. Kadak Black, there is crackers and Tabasco. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I won. Different stocks carry different IV, therefore we have different expectations, right? Like on Nvidia, sometimes the IV was carrying 150% for 6 months. So you want to see relative IV drop, right? Like what is the norm? And for the most part, you can see that. But yeah, I would say that you want you don't want the IV to increase the value of contracts more than 5 strikes out of the money. If you see like really, really high IV out there, like stretching out, 15, 25 strikes, that's something that could be a little bit rough. So no, man. Hold on. My daughter just runs in here in her fucking underwear. Yeah, dog. She's busted into my office. The pearl is the goal when living the Oyster Fest. Yeah. Did I watch the Masters? I actually did watch the Masters while I was drinking and eating oysters. Almost made a list. Yes, that's right. Yeah, right. All right. Can I do NVIDIA? Yeah. So I actually have calls on Apple, so we'll talk about that in just a second. I grabbed a few, figured it was be worth it. So NVIDIA, in range, obviously 112 and 114 being some of the more important marks as far as where you can continue moving to the upside. If you move to the 4-hour, you'll notice that there's empty space up to 1882. So if you can gap up above 14 or push past it, right, and there's more than likely going to be a little box there, but you do have, right, your own area of consolidation. So popping up and then pushing down, that does open up a play all the way down here. So just be wary, both sides of the trade. I would assume you gap up above 111, so you can use that as a stop loss. Incredible round of golf today. Fuck yeah. What's on the video? I hedged on Apple with more weight inputs. Gotcha. Hi, Zane. My name's not Zane. What are you talking about? Monday through Friday, yeah. Swaggy draggy. Always in the Discord, but all right. Apple. Jay Crump, what's the ticker name on that? How do you determine how many strikes out of the IV? So, I mean, you'll like if you go to SPY, it's usually SPY ODTE on a normal day, you're gonna have maybe 6 steps out of the money. When you're stretching out $50, that's high IV. So, okay, the reason I took Apple, guys, is pretty simple. You closed up against your wall there. You have 1, 2, 3. So either we gap up, and the first target will be the first green candle. Damn. And that'd be 203. Now, including the 207.50 mark, which would also be representative of my floor. 209, sorry. So opening up over here, that would be the goal. However, just like everything else, you have the signal down. So if you close underneath 194 and punch through 190, be looking down here at 177. So both sides. This is a great week. This is going to be a great week. Futures have already gapped up, folks. Yeah, they've already. Yeah, we swung Apple, but we'll see if that follows because again, pre-market can change a lot. So, all right, keep dropping your requests, guys. I'm trying to get through them as quickly as I can without compromising. Wow, I have not looked at this in ages, and it's still holding strong. 36.68 cost basis gap fill, and now the centrifuge, the median inside of that box is your resistance right over here. So this makes my life usually a little bit more simple, but here you are, right? You can already tell that there's a nice floor here, right? And that's 38.36. I'm going to go ahead and venture to guess there's a box here. And so through 37.50, you'd be looking at another leg down. However, you are looking up right now. So 45.37 is the current target and next resistance to go higher, which would be 47.40. And then, in my opinion, you would have like a 51.86 target and then potentially back up to 57. So 3,800 iPhones are fire. Is that how much the new iPhone is? Get fucking real, dude. Popularly rated. Listen, I said this last week. Mara has a great setup. It is up against 1263 with empty space up above it and a first target here at 1328 and a second target here at 1360. So not a bad setup. Definitely closing up against the wall. How's crypto doing? Well, actually, I can give you guys some rare analysis on crypto. If you look at the 24-hour, right? This is our current predicament. All-time highs, right? And then you have a move over 88.5 to go and retest that floor. If that happens, then yeah, we could see Mara and the gang pop up. Now, surprisingly, you still have, it's inevitable in my opinion that we move down to retest this, but you are still abiding by this channel here as well. So going up and hitting resistance before the break, you know, we could see him move up before we see him move down, which is typically how it goes. So, by the way, I just want to take a minute. If you are not following me on YouTube, make sure you go to subscribe now. If you want to stay up to date with all of our analysis. So we just hit 14K. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate it. Got 650 videos on there. A lot of shorts, but a lot of educational content. If you're trying to learn, you want to get up to speed with what we're doing here, go to my educational playlist and you'll find everything you need. So dare you to overlay XRP. Not right now. I feel like I know what you're gonna say. I actually looked at XRP this morning. SUI. Market cap? Oh, I gotta let this one loose so you guys can hear it. This is one of the most fucked up songs I've ever heard in my life. Make a pretty woman your wife. From my personal point of view, you should go the girl to marry you. This guy's proposition is if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, don't make a pretty woman your wife. Look, I'm not lying. I heard this at a bar one time and I put it on my playlist. It's fucked up, dude. It's fucked up. Peyton Hayes when I play it. Alright. This is crypto FYI. I was gonna assume. Right now I don't see anything crazy. You know, I see a 8.92 resistance overhead, but I don't see a play or anything like that, you know, available here for sure. Don't sleep on Potter. I did a few years ago and didn't join back then. I've regretted it and I'm here now. Listen, that yeah, it's funny. Listen, all in good time, man. You are here now, and that's the most important thing. It's okay, you know, people who kind of like skip over people streaming stock stuff, you know, I get it, but it's all good, man. I will tell you, dude, last week made me pretty proud of myself because I had probably about 10 people join the Discord, paid for it and all, but all of them mentioned that they had made the money. Jay Jr., he got his wife Lifetime, and you know she made money in her account. He made money in his. I think he took like $3,000 to like 25K. So it was really cool, man. You know, what group is going to help you make the money to join it? You know, who offers the opportunity to make money to buy their product is pretty cool. It makes me feel good about what I do here. So yeah, we're never talking about yeah. Oh yeah, there you are, Erica. Yeah, Erica Jeanette. Maybe she come in here and give some of these people some mental health skills. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's see what else do we have. Verizon. 24-hour, you gapped up. You closed on the floor of 43.40. I mean, inevitably, I think you're going to go hit 44.60 right here. Yeah, so you need to hold above 43.40, but yeah, that would be my only target there. We all need mental health. Will Erica be my mommy? Listen, you gotta have Junior on your ass. I've never met Junior in my life, dude, but he sounds like he could punch a hole through a fucking steel door, dude. He just sounds strong. I can hear it in his voice. There he is. What's up, Junior? All right, what do we got next? T-Doc. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Massive area of consolidation, my friend. Multiple bounces off of the floor, so you need to hold 692. That's imperative. You have our overhead resistance that would be accessible through a move through 750, and then perhaps set up a move all the way here to 841, where you have a little bit of empty space left. Hey, Potter, you seem to have a lot of experience. Can you explain how bad this can affect your stress and emotions? Oh man, this is a very real thing. Um, I've cried, I've screamed, I've lost my shit. Not now, right? Now I'm in a, every year gets better, and that's what we all work for and we strive for. But what it really did was unveil my emotional fragility, if you will, and reactivity. So like I noticed that, yeah, I overreacted to things when they didn't go my way. And that would actually cause me more pain and more, when we're in a stressful environment or we are it affects what we do and what choices we make. And correct me if I'm wrong, Erica, but but when you're in a state of anger or frustration, you're going to do things that snowball. So it is it's one of the most stressful things that I've taken on in some ways, right? It's not as stressful as having, some boss trying to fucking hammer me for a deadline that needs to be made. But it is super stressful. Oh God, Dan, so stupid. But yeah, if you are committed to personal growth, if you want to be a better person, then you can pull really important lessons out of this. Like it is a microcosm of human emotions, all combined. I mean, that's literally what patterns are. That's what boxes are. I mean, market makers have just learned to take advantage of the emotions, the mass emotions of the majority. There are I when I scroll through I could go on this forever, because like when I scroll on TikTok, you'll see 80-90% of people being like, yo, these trading conditions are treacherous, right? It's affecting them all the same. But obviously personal issues, if you have anger issues, you're going to need to deal with them. If you deal with, lack of patience, you're going to learn this. So these are all extremely important things that will be called to your attention. So he yells in joy beyond his mic's ability to capture it often. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Yeah, I think Chad is watching right now and is going to tell his group. He probably is. If he is, you're a fat bastard. And I would physically harm you if I met you. Just a poke in the eyes, though. Just fucking right there, and then I'm out. As a youngin', I dreamed of getting rich. Fuck with me, my buddy. All right, let's take a look at. We did Hood already. That one will be on there. Intel. Size about a white picket fence. Ugh. There's some trees. You're not gonna catch me slipping. Where's AB at? What you gotta do is push them to the lips. And just see me by the ticket with the pushers and the pimps. Or can I get a glimpse? That man, I tell you what, the market all has a lot of stocks have this universal setup that, you know, kind of screams that it wants to go up. And I see that here on the hourly as well. So over $20, you would have a box right here that you would need to go and punch through. So 20.55 and 21 even, they're all psychological levels through these. So and then outside of 21.46, and then yeah, I'd be looking up right around 22.80. I was singing A Tale of Two Cities, and he's like, "Fuck with me, my buddy." I'm surprised he didn't say anything. Wasn't paying attention. Awesome, dude. Thanks. I guess I'll just waste my time. I'm just kidding. IO and Q. Michelle, not bad. Not bad. You have a first target here, really important one, and that's 28.40. So that would be the first target and goal to go and recover. And then I would be looking for the $30 and $31 mark outside of that. If you can break, you have obviously the consolidation to do it. So get rich. Watch if you want to. I'm a pockets fat a bad bitch. I want to flaunt too. Remember I can crown bake. Won't do about this shit. It'll haunt you. Bad dream that I was trapped in the city, and I asked, is that really such a bad thing? Do you want to be another dude who doesn't have things? Nice. Light like. Ugh. Nice watch. Run it. Listen, I'm staring at this thing and I'm like 315.85 over 302. It has to happen if you're looking up. If you're looking down, right, you have the same vulnerabilities down. So underneath 287.75 and breaking underneath 277, you would have a trip down to this box. So a lot of read and react setups this week, but they're setups nonetheless. I mean, I'm bearish like overall. He doesn't say dude. Yeah, I know. I know. I've been given the pass, but I'll never use it. Quick story time. One time I was locked when I was in jail. If you don't know that, I was in jail for a Duber, one Duber. I got caught in a back county. I did a year for literally a Duber. I had no lawyer and stuff like that. But hold on. But anyway, I was in this dorm. I was probably the only white guy, and all of these guys like came around me one night. We're talking and chatting, and someone brought up like the N word, and so they're all sitting in a circle, and they're like trying to convince me to say it. They're like, "Dude, it's fine, you know, just say it one time, dude. Get it out of your system, you know, just say it." And I was like, "No." I refused for an hour, like an hour and a half. I'm like, "No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it." And finally, they give up, and when I'm like walking back to my bunk, one of the guys said, "Bro," he's like, I'm glad you didn't say it." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "We were gonna beat your ass if you did." I was like, "Fuck, I'll never say it. I'll never say it." Just spell it. What's a duber? I was 19, 20 years old, man. Chiefing it. All right, let's take a look at silver. Damn. Oh my god. Oh. There's a limit to your love. Look at that. Divisions. I think it's pretty important. I mean, fucking A, look at that candle, dude. I mean, this holds you inside of a massive area of consolidation, but that candle's nothing to shake a stick at. And you do have empty space remaining. So it's not a terrible setup, my guy. You would basically be looking for two things to happen. You need to see a candle close up against $30 and then push through 30.70, and you might be able to achieve a new high. You just can't use the hard R. No, no variations of it. Everybody's my neighbor. Guarantee from me it blows past 33 this week. It doesn't have a bad setup to do it, man. It's not the worst. Actually, hold on one second. Yeah, I guess not. So yeah, I do look at that. Would you do two-step process here? Have a You want to put money on it? Hold on. Listen, that's not bad. That's not fucking bad. That's real good. All right, let's fucking. Goddamn. Give me it. Shit. Okay, so dip down, so this is punchback territory, a move over 93.48, and then a 4-hour box here, and it's empty space city all in here. So I will definitely put that on the motherfucking watch list. Dude, I bought a $20 pen and my daughter lost the cap to it, bro. I just had to be, I was like, I love her. I love her. I love her. I love my daughter. Put on my goddamn paper too. Bet a year sub or my $300. Might have to. I'm a betting man. I might have to take you up on that. We'll talk. We'll see. We'll see where we're at on Friday. So let's look at Kava tomorrow, but I wouldn't mind taking a position over the Wix, up into the $97 mark and such. But this is not a bad setup at all. I really do like it if the market can give us the right conditions, and I mean, even if you're just tracking a downtrend here, that's mighty fucking delicious, dude. All right. Yes, I do have a course, if you will, for beginners. I will tell you this though. I'm closing that bitch up. If you have it, you'll always have it. But I'm almost done. I've been really busy, but I'm almost done putting together this course. So it's just an updated version, more clean, more precise, right? But this has the workshop that I put out right now. I want everybody to know the new one will be more expensive, but the information that's on there still and will always remain very important. And you can save yourself money doing that. So if you have it, and you want to get it later, maybe wait. Or go through my YouTube channel, but don't feel like you're gonna miss out if you don't get the new one. Like and I'll do live events on it, so you'll get the gist. But you have until the end of the stream to take it. Are you not gonna cuss in your book? Oh, I'm definitely gonna cuss in my book. When I write, I don't write with my hand. When I'm like right now with this book, I'm started like Michael Scott, just like business 101. No, I write with my phone. So, but I definitely curse. All right. Nah, Sensei, I think I think I'll take you up on that a little bit. I want that bitch to feel real. Pause. All right. All right, Sensei. I'm down. I'm down. Would you ever be interested in doing a TED Talk? I would. Yeah, I would. I would probably start it off by saying everything that we know about the stock market is fucking bullshit. Strong take. Potter Stocks, I think, on Venmo. I mean, I trust you too, man. So, like, you know, you don't have to send it right now, but I do like engaging in. Yeah, Potter Stocks, spelled normal, all one word. You'll see Garrett Daniel. End of Friday after hours price close over $30. All right, it's a shake. You're on, but little gamble. Free $300. No, just kidding. Do you get the new ones too? No, if you do, the new one will be different, you know, from the one I. Yeah. All right, man. I'm looking. AMD. J Haba, what's up? Is that you in your profile picture, dude? I love that. Yeah, Potter Stocks. Yep. All right, let's take a look at AMD. Not as excited about this one. It just really doesn't have a ton up above us that I can like really take advantage of. Dude, everything. The market is always set up. There is just it's so fucking it's lit, man. If you push past this wall, right? Past this gap, there's a easy target of 99 or basically $100. And that would be the first box to your left and the potential resistance. So, you know, just projecting here, but if you could hit that, right, it would maybe set you up to come back down, right? Look how perfectly that would play out. Check back with me next week on whether or not this played out. How am I doing? I'm doing really good, man. I feel just talking to my wife about this, man. I reflecting on where I was 15 years ago, dude. And, you know, just we got friends and, you know, went to an oyster roast and Disney and got married. I'm a happy guy, dude, which is also a rare emotion for people to be feeling in this day and age. So I'm grateful for it. Disney. Yeah, man. I don't say it enough, but you know, without you guys watching and stuff too, I wouldn't have a voice. I wouldn't be able to do this. You know, teaching people, which gives me, you know, just making money is awesome, but like gratification and feeling like I'm doing something in my life, it's pretty cool, man. I really enjoy helping people. So not to be corny, but it's fucking it's amazing. Who'd have thought? Over $86 on Disney. I actually like Disney because of its empty space. I see a box right here. The box it's not a box, it's a range. So right now, over $86, we'd have a key resistance 87 and then maybe a break up to 89. However, you also have a area of empty space underneath you to 82.55. So that's the meaning of life, man. Yeah, it is. I was just talking to my son about that. Helping people, dude, is imagine if everybody thought that way, you know. All right. In your purpose is all, P. There you go. Yeah. Never thought I'd be doing this. Never thought I'd be doing this. I seriously, if I had a time machine, I could take a trip back and not destroy the timeline and tell myself I'd be doing this, dude. I probably would have been laughing my ass off. Like, no way, bro. Fuck the stock market. So Amazon has an interesting setup. Sitting up against the wall, if you can gap up above 187.50 or push past it, you have empty space inside of the range, which more than likely would lead you up for your gap fill, which has a 190, 180 cost basis. So if you want to get there, you got to go through here. And if you want to stay bullish, you need to stay above the box that you built. So really, helping everybody accept XRP holders. See you in the Discord. I'm going to rejoin. Can't wait to see you, man. Make sure to ask lots of questions. Speak up. Anybody and everybody who joins my Discord, man, I can't have you guys being shy. Not saying you are at all, but anybody who joins, the more you talk, the more you ask questions, the better the community gets, the better answers you get. I want to do this full time, unsure though. So let me talk to you, for 30 seconds about that. My goal, and I feel like this really helped me, was like, I'm going to be a trader, but I'm doing this for a reason so that I can accomplish other goals, right? Put myself in different positions. So this is just means to an end, right? So I don't even call or regard myself as a full-time trader. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do this full time. I buy at the end of the day, I sell usually before lunch, and then I wait till the end of the day again. Like I try to maximize the potential freedom that is offered through the market. And that allows me to invest, that allows me to buy properties, that allows me to, look at different opportunities outside of what I'm doing right now, because trading in itself is not just from one person to another is not gratifying, right? Like purpose wise, like it's empty, it's money. So doing something with it and having that be your goal, like I'm going to do this so I can start buying car washes in my city. Like that's a goal. And that's something I think also will drive you. Like it's just, like trading is just a step in the way to get to that. And yeah, I think it helps with the mindset. So when people ask you what you do for a living, I say I'm an analyst. I straight up, I don't think they're watching right now, but I went to this oyster roast, met a bunch of dudes. I'm their dads and stuff. Our kids are friends. So I was a little, nervous and awkward because I got, social anxiety, I guess, if you will. But, yeah, about, I don't know, 5 drinks in, they asked me what I did, dude. And I just started fucking yapping, dude. I was yapping for like 25 minutes, showing them what I do, showing them the money. Yeah. And I woke up the next morning or this morning and I was like, God damn, dude. I usually don't tell people, but. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. This is a really, really tough spot. Interesting place to do analysis, right? This is the deal, right? This is and I say interesting because it pins you, right? You are pinned in between 2 areas, and I'm almost tempted to drive this down here, but you are in between 2 major areas of consolidation, right? Where you broke out from and where you need to go, which makes this easy because if you can get above the high, then you have the upside of 27. If you break down, you have the cost basis of $20, $21. So. Yapaton. Oh, shit. All right. We got a bet right here, folks. Sensei 2.0. Secret message at the end of. Hold on. Let me see this. Michael, that was too much, bro. He said you have an amazing strategy, aligns with what I teach my client. Mad props and good luck, brother. And no, I'm not gay. That's too much, man. All right. Would it be possible for institutions to change things so that the system would no longer work? I would have to impact. And the reason I will keep talking shit, I will keep getting banned, is because I like flying under the radar. If I was able to teach millions, yes, there would maybe some adjustment, but I will argue this. The market, I've gone back and looked at newspapers from 1920 and where they would draw the fucking chart, and there's still boxes. I charted a chart from 1920s, and I was like, yeah, this is accurate. So yeah, I've gone back, but you know, that's not something that I'm concerned about at all, because you guys will see this happen. If I ever caught a wave, like millions of people start following me, or not even millions, but hundreds of thousands of people, like watching all my streams, and like, you know, I would back off. I would fucking back off, because I don't. I have declined Netflix. I have declined, and I know not a lot of you guys know about this. I don't talk about it, but after the GameStop squeezes, I streamed on Reddit, and I had a huge stream. It was like 14,000 people. I made a bag. People made money. It was fun. But Netflix and the New York Times and a couple different other newspaper, Yahoo and different shit like that, reached out. And I even had a video call. One day I'll show you guys the messages on my Twitter. But I had a phone call with a lady from the New York Times about it, and she was like, "Are you comfortable showing your face?" And I was like, "Fuck no, I don't want no, I don't want people to know who I am. I don't want that kind of shit." So, see you, man. Curious on how you would analyze a chart in something like MOV. In a sweater poorly knit and an unsuspecting. Not bad, bro. I mean, it obviously doesn't have a fuck ton of volume, but this looks like you know, some accumulation setup right here, little channel there. So yeah, I mean, it would adjust from the 24 to the 2, but the long and short of it is you actually have candle closes inside of this range that are really definitive, like 1450. If you could be above that, then I would say 1520. I can actually do lower time frame analysis on this chart on the higher time frame. So little Moses drifts downstream in the Nile. That's how some people end up disappearing. Listen, yeah, flying under the radar, love it. This is freedom, man. This is freedom. I've only been recognized in public twice. I've been recognized the most on video games. I like play squads, or I'll play fucking, you know, one of these games. I just bought Schedule 1, but it's not multiplayer. But yeah, straight up, you know, Fortnite, I had some kid fucking recognize me. I was like, what the hell? All right. Try to forget my name. See what hard this means. Do the same. Those bees by the first week of July, they should have been up to my knees, but they were maybe ankle high. Boil down your fruit to preserve in patient jars. And the goats are overfed. Oh shit! I think this is simple analysis. $22 break, and you're looking for a recovery of 2250 and 2391 to give you access for a retest of cost basis at $27. So this, and placing an entry on this might be the most difficult thing. So it would have to be over 2075. You stay in DFW? No, I used to live in Euless, Texas. But no, I don't live there anymore. I looked at property out in Texas, actually. Zagged you ever since? Getting back. I did MU. Check the live in just a minute. I got it piled up for a potential move up and out. But any unachieved goals in life? No. I'm actually working on making new ones. My goal was always just to take care of my family. When I made one young, so take care of my family, be a good dad, uh, you know, not be the same people as my parents, you know, not a high maintenance dude. Coups are so bad. How did I get into trading? Did I self learn? I got into trading the same way probably all of you did, the social media. Um, I saw it, as an opportunity or, a goal. When I first, was like, yeah, people can just, make a band or something like that. But like most of you, I bought a course. I got scammed. The course had copy and pasted material. It was Aristotle Investments, and I ended up leaving mad. And through that anger and frustration, and realizing that most, if not all, the creators that I was looking at were all regurgitating the same bullshit, I started doing this on my own. And yes, I did teach myself how to. I built this strategy. I've told people, like, it sounds like, I just built this strategy and it happened. No, I went through, I lost $80,000. I was disheveled, unshaven, unclean. Like, I fucking would sit in my office or in this back room in my house for 15 fucking hours and no, I would not sleep. I did this for fucking like 9 months. Like, I actually fucked up my back from sitting. I went from working with my hands and building things to sitting, and like fucked my back and my sciatica and shit like that. But sacrifices. So I lost right around $87,000, grand total, because I blew accounts after I made an adjustment. But and I'll finish this up, but I was notorious for taking like $50. The lowest I ever started with was $18, and I would hit 10K and fucking lose my mind. And I did that like 8 times. I blew 8 accounts that I had gotten from dollars to fucking 10 grand. And I quit. I quit trading for about 4 or 5 months. And I was struggling mentally. And one day I was in the shower and I just had this fucking epiphany. I was like, why the fuck do I not just pull the money out at 10 and start over again? If I can do that over and over again, if I could do that 10 times, dude, the fuck? And thus I came back and the strategy started to be born. So these gurus sell the new trader, the get quick rich scheme that never happens. Yeah, I'm not promising people either. Yeah, Cam, that's just a sign right there. But I'm not promising people, anything crazy. But I can promise you that if you have a little bit of money and you learn this strategy and you really commit yourself, not crazy, but like if you commit yourself to learning, you can take a little bit and make it a lot. And I know that for most of us, any average American, any average person, right now, if you could flip $250 to 8 grand, that would be a huge help. And like starting out there, like, make the goal of becoming independent and all that stuff like a goal, but or not independent, but becoming being able to sustain yourself on just trading alone. Start with that. Start with trying to make something that you can even just give yourself some stress, relief. So you took 500 to 10K scalping? No, only swing trading. So I would actually take it to 10K swing trading. I had a rule, no day trading. I did that. I accomplished my goal. And I wanted to get to 10K because I wanted to scalp. And so I would start scalping when I hit 10K, and I would blow my fucking account in like a week when it took me 3 or 4 weeks to get it there. So I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. And I didn't start scalping until I started hedging some of my swing trades, which got me back into it. I'm good at it, but I just don't. It's not the risk is not worth it, in my opinion. Paycheck to paycheck isn't the meaning of life. No, it's not, man. And if you can just give yourself, is there any other post on the wins? You ready? Just take a look. Just try and look at the percentages as I scroll. You'll notice something that you will not see this anywhere else. Maybe Put Brothers, I'm not in his Discord, but I mean, the percentages here are fucking look at this. This is what I mean, folks. Look at how much he paid for this contract. $21 fucking dollars. $21 to $1,500. Now, this was a runner. Anytime you see a screenshot in here, we always usually post we don't screenshot while we're in a position. But those are the runners. I mean, just look at that right there, dude. Look at all of those. 3,000, 4,000, 1,000. It's not related. Everybody gets these plays. This is just what I do. I'm the only person who does this. We are the only. Look at this. Where the fuck else would you see that? And I'm talking about, look, hold on. So you know I'm not capping because this was a big week, of course, right? Scroll. I do this all the time. You know, I'm not going to look. Just scroll. Just endless. Just scroll super hard and stop. 129%. Small and steady. 216%. 150%. 250%. 1,000%. Crypto gains. 1,000 percenters. 544%. But if you are watching me right now, I'm going to stop because I don't want you to join my Discord because you just had an emotional reaction, right? Cool. You saw something good, but this is hopefully something you'll carry into your trading. Go to my YouTube. Don't buy shit from me. I don't want your money right now. I want you to, if you're new here, you're seeing this shit for the first time, I'm giving you the game. I don't fucking withhold anything. Even though I have a workshop, it's all concentrated in there. Everything is on the educational playlist, right? There's going to be certain things that are spread out. It's not going to be as like straightforward, but everything that you need is all here. So go here, watch what I say, and make a good decision, right? Make sure that this is the place that you want to be because I'm not here to signal you. I am here to help build independent traders. So I'm not going to tell you everything that I do. Now I'm going to discuss when I take it. So like if I'm on live and I decide to take MU over 72.72, I'm going to tell people, right? So if I'm live, you'll get an alert, right? But I don't do that. I don't post. I have a really good reason as to why. I do not. Oh, Rod, don't cry, man. How do you feel about other people spreading the Potterbox strat on TikTok? Doesn't bother me. I'm nervous the market will gap the wrong way when I swing trade. How do you know which direction? Dude, it's all... Keep watching. That's all I can tell you, man. Keep watching. It's not random. It's not random, dude. Listen, none of this, everything that we've done. I mean, if you go back and watch some of my Sunday recap videos, when we were here in this box, dude, we hit those huge percentage trades. We hit this whole thing, and then we fucked it up down. But we sat on our hands. Honestly, I was so fucking proud of the way that my Discord caught all of this. I was at Disney World when the market was dumping, and they caught these things by themselves. So yeah, I do trade live every day. Yep. Yeah, I don't post, the contract inflation, I've seen it happen now. I've got enough followers where I see that happen. But like I'll tell people what I'm buying before I buy it and give you guys a chance to, like, I've actually said I'm getting into something, waited 5 minutes, and everybody jacked the fucking price up. I paid double what I was initially going to pay. So it's no sweat off my back though. Listen, hold on. Before we move on, what the fuck kind of screen name is that? What did he say? This milk can be your milk? It's weird. All right. Sky YT. Skywater Technology. That seems like a company that would destroy the whole world. Dude, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. You have been in a weekly range since 2022. And there doesn't look like there's any sort of, the only thing that I could say to you is you're likely going to come back down here. You are responding to the 580 floor, but you have not gained anything. You would need to go and recover 781 to go up. And right now, I think there's more of a bias potentially, maybe even to the downside. So hot dog water, dude. But yeah, You know, we get huge percentages some weeks, and this is something I teach everybody, guys. Um, you know, uh, because we're swing traders, but we also acknowledge how the market moves. We know that there's going to be periods where we don't trade, and you get a lot of people will. I've had people try and roast me for it, right? They're like, you know, he just like doesn't show up when BS show up, but he just doesn't like, you know, like I'll show up and I'll leave by 10:30 if the market is in range, right? It's like a surfer or you know anything else. It's contraction expansion, contraction, expansion, right? And the reason why I'm betting that we're going to make money this week is because we have that contraction again. And we're coming out of it. And there's empty space up all the way on the Qs here up to 472. And there's empty space all the way down here. And I can promise you this, I'm going to fucking make a bag on one of these targets. I don't give a fuck where it goes. I just read and react. No biased, unless the market shows me which bias I need to have. So if we punch down underneath 446 and we're underneath 442, I'm bearish and we're going down. If we punch up over 459.23 and go for the gap fill, I'm bullish, and I'm bullish up to runners, or runners go up to 472.60. So is your strategy what institutional traders use? I have no idea. I don't talk to institutional traders, man. But it's how the market, this is market mechanics. It's non-negotiable, right? Sure, punchbacks can fail. That happens very, 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 very fucking rarely. But as far as how the market works, I think we've got it pretty much nailed. Even just knowing when to trade is huge for us. So if you need financial support, please write Telegram. Yo, Konstantinov, did your mom really give birth to a scammer? Is this what she wanted you to become? Do you think that she would even love you right now? Life can't be that hard, dude. Um, no, this could be, so I can swing into this, but I will day trade. I will day trade. So swing trading is overnight. Those can't be that. Contract Lewis, you need to go to, I have TradeStation. Yeah, crypto. Yeah, swing trading is statistically better than day trading. It's not even, yeah, it is that. This is, okay, so logic, right? Everybody in here hopefully has it. If you knew, right, that 80% of the market movement is overnight, and that 90 fucking 8 or 95% of day traders fail, I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, dude, but that seems like a pretty fucking clear sign. You're going to the least profitable time in the market, and I've shown people this as well. When you take away, so we use the, by the way, if you are new here, 24-hour time frame, which means you have to have data, right? You have to have all the data packages, not all of them, but I go over that in my right here. So how to set up your trading view. You need to go there, check that out. That's an important video for you to go and check out. Drop a comment or anything like that if you have time. But yeah, you need 24-hour time frame. And I tell people that this is probably one of the most important aspects of our trading, because I give people this example, right? This is the market that we see, complete and whole. This is the market that everybody else sees, gappy. And not only that, but it actually shows how little day traders get comparatively to us. So marking out, right, going over here to our left. Right now, by the way, before I move on, we do have a discount code for those of you guys who do know me. New people, just wait. We'll have a new one. This isn't a call to action. But I know there were some people who were asking about it. We do have 35% off right now. I was gone at Disney. We also came back and market crash. So yeah. Anyway, so hold on a second. I gotta change that fucking song, dude. Okay. So when we're looking at this market, right? the first thing that I want you guys to see is how much, like, so right here, I remember we took a trade off of this floor on the Qs, right? And I can't even see it without extended hours on. So right here, right? Coming out of a box over the top. So from here, where we took the trade at the end of the day, to here, right? That's all a move from that's a $10 move overnight. Now take away extended hours. Look, you gap up from our entry and then you go nowhere. You have this dump, right? And then the next day you gap the fuck up. But every single day, look, watch this. Box, 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 right? You just open and chop motherfuckers to bits, and people wonder to themselves, why am I losing? Dude, you're fucking ignoring one of the most important statistics. We're not here for ego trip. We're here to fucking make bags. So. Listen, I'm telling you guys, it's the 24-hour time frame. Drop it and you'll see. Listen, let me show you a really good example. This is my favorite example. If this doesn't change your mind on this setup, maybe nothing will, right? But let's take a look at Mara, right? So this was a trade that we took. This was over 1,000% trade. I think it was like 4,000%. I ended up paying for dental surgery the same day. You know, I was getting dental surgery. So this is a perfect example of my strategy, right? You have two boxes sitting on top of one another. This one falls, pulls back, bounces off of cost basis, recovers its floor, which then puts sellers at odds. Sellers exit, and we have nothing up above us, right? And I trade box to box. So I'm aiming up here to 2287. So cool, right? Take a look at that box. Now watch what happens, everybody. Watch what happens when I take this away. Trash. I know they call that an inverse fair value gap, but it's also based on candles, like how many. I had an ICT guy tell me that I should have gotten out at 1850. I held all the way, and then not only did I hold, I rolled. I don't remember doing this because I had just gotten dental surgery, and I came home and just hopped on live like a fucking dumbass. My mouth was like bleeding and shit, but I don't even remember what I said or what I did, but I did wake up and we had rolled our contracts out because this did recover the floor and did end up punching through the 50% mark and did end up giving me a new high. Ivy is posting the code in the chat right there. Is it 24-hour free? No, you do have to pay. So listen, if you can't pay, between me and you, I'm sure you know people with emails. Free trials. So, you know, make it happen. If you don't have it, don't spend it. There's always ways around, man. You looked normal that day, just another day. Oh, Rod. Oh, you're fine, Ivy. The code 35% off. I'm not snitching the trading view guys. Yeah. Rolling contracts is taking the money that you've made and taking that premium and rolling it into a farther out expiration. So no, I was comparing the daily to the 24-hour. So when I switch it, it's still going to say 24-hour, right? But I'm taking away the data that is 24 hours. There is no extended hours. And that's where the rest of the candles come in. It's just, I mean, just look how clean this is, right? Top, beautiful. Bottom, beautiful. Look at the fucking wick. Oh God, dude. My sexual orientation is chart. Like, look at that. Beautiful tap. Then you take that shit away. And it's like, wicks, you know, it doesn't help. So I do not have a monthly discount or a monthly memberships, guys. They're the most dumb shit that you could ever do. I have quarterly, but that's only available to people who have taken the workshop. You're not going to get anything out of a month. What if you join and the fucking market is chopping? I'm not going to force a trade, you know, ever. So you know, I don't think that it's worth anybody's time, especially if you haven't taken the workshop. You're just on a monthly subscription, right? But I know that if you go and you learn my strategy, or you go to my YouTube channel, you'll be able to learn how to do this independently, and you don't have to obviously pay me anything. The workshop was a recording of a live that I did. The discount code is PotterStocks35, all caps. All right, moving on. Let's do chart Django to box Django. Ivy, make it happen if you can. Whenever Monday, you don't have to do it now, but chart Django. We're gonna change this to box Django. I swung Apple. When you swing, how far out the money do you swing contracts? So it's a great question. I swing or trade target-based contracts. So I'll give you an example right now on Mara. Mara has empty space and it has a box up above, right? So my target ultimately would be here at 1360. So the immediate, right, without looking at the contracts, the immediate move would be 1350 strikes or 14s. Hold on. Why'd this song just come on? I just had to hear that bass line one more time. All right. When would you get out if it didn't work? Usually where I got in. What's that song called? It's Roundabout 2003 remaster by Yes. All right, sorry. It's a great song. That song was actually came out in black and white. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. It's a good song. UNH. Yeah, let's take a look at some last minute stocks here. We've been live for about 2 hours here, so we're probably gonna reel it in. I thought I was not recording there for a second. Oh, I did UNH, man. This one, it's at cost basis, dude. So your next target, or you're not even your next target, but your next point of contact is going to be 626.50. Someone clipped that face he made with the fake face move. Best song, yes, it can happen. Yeah, good jam. This will be on YouTube. Yep, I'm going to start. Go ahead and get ready to upload it now. So just wait 15, 20 minutes. It'll be up. Alta. All right. So I think this is actually a relatively easy setup. You are in a pretty nasty area of consolidation, looking for a 24-hour candle close outside of 375.88 with beautiful empty space up above and a retest inevitably of 401. That's actually a great setup. Great setup, right? Whether or not it plays out, we're going to have to move down into the lower time frame. We're on the 4-hour. We see a box right here, and that will be our signal. So a move, candle close, ripping outside of 375.66 should get us what we're looking for. Yeah, I am in an Apple trade overnight. Apple had a pretty, it closed up against for the third time. I hedged because we are in conditions where, if we were to gap down, that could lead for a punchback. We didn't have a for sure signal, but it seemed like a good opportunity to put a little bit of money on the table. And again, one thing, if you are new here, you'll find with me is you can put you can even speculate with $100 or $200, and that can turn into multiple thousands of dollars. And we've proven that time after time. So, even if you just want to make sure right now in these market conditions with the news and everything that's going around, I pretty much have something on the table at all times on both sides. And I just keep it low risk because the gains that I'm making, right? My risk to reward is outstanding. So, I don't even pay attention to fucking win rate, at all. But the gains that I'm making comparatively to what I'm putting on the table, ridiculous. I put $400 into patent or on my wife's account. And that turned to, it was like 12 grand. It was ridiculous. And now she just bought two nightstands, a entry table, another entertainment center. We already have one. And yeah, that all happened the last day. I was like, dude, you got a spending problem, bro. Oh, dude, she went shopping, dude. She went shopping. I'm happy for her. Yeah. Once upon a time, dude, we were digging for change in our couch for fucking almond milk. So, PLTR. I said this before, earlier. You know, you are still considered to be in range. I think on the weekly time frame, the most important level that I see is 98.16. So in relevance to the 24-hour, that would be over this top at 97.32, and then this is a tall order right now, because when you move down into a lower time frame, right, we have a couple of dynamics that are still, you know, exhibiting control, right? We have a nice little channel right here that's has empty space underneath it. So if we were to fall underneath that wick of 84.65, simply we would move down to 80.66. And then on the flip side of this, if we're able to move up and out, you have a wall at 92.17 and a target of 95.19 and 96.40. So the wife calls in the money, the husband works for it. Here you go. Nah, normal wifey. ADA. He's trying to make me do crypto, dude. This has got to be like this has got to be a form of assault. Forcing crypto on me. Take you to family court, dude. He touched me with his ADA. Ooh. I got crypto juices on me. That was gross. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yo, MB just said, bro. All right. Anyway, ADA is pushing up against that floor, 67 cents. So right now, the most important thing is 70 cents to go up. Cryptic assault. Yeah. I did Apple, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and close this out here in a second, and you guys can go back and look at all these. So, Kava, yeah, I like that a lot. That's on the watch list. I'm gonna have to write it on the back of a Zencan because I can't find my my notepad right now. I'm just gonna write it right here on my. Just need to remember it in the morning. Just set it right in front of my mouse. Remind me. Actually, I could just tell you guys. Remind me. Apple, Kava, Mara, and the Qs. That's my watch list right now going into Monday. So I'll leave my dirty crypto hands in my pockets. I have not done ELF. No, I'm actually looking at that one. The signal has not fired off yet. I need a 62 break, but one could. There's actually a lower time frame trade, but you know the spreads on ELF can be a little atrocious here. But right here, so over 56.65, empty space, retest 62, and then it's back to work to try to move through this structure. So too late on Apple. Yeah, we'll see where we open up. You said it's at 210? No shit. Really? No shit. I crushed it. If we open up there, dude, I'm a bus. Financial bussing. I do not have equity in ELF anymore. No, I got out. I got out my signal to get out, but listen, I made well over $40,000 on that equity position. So it is what it is. That is including using options to maximize. So I do not trade gold. No, sir. Tina, yes, it does. Tia. Sorry, I called you Tina. What the fuck? My bad. Never accept that sort of disrespect. Goddamn. Tina. OC Pet Doc. This is a good week to focus. We're gonna lock in, and I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this this live. Do you always buy contracts in both ends if it goes either way? No. I've done that a lot lately, Cheyenne, because of the way that the market is moving. Right? We have these erratic overnight news, and obviously, well, we all have to wait for open. Kava tomorrow morning. I'll be live, and we'll try and see if we can fuck it up. So, all right, guys. Thanks, guys, for a good live. We're gonna go ahead and conclude this for tomorrow. We do have earnings though this week. Yes, this is going up on YouTube. I'll go ahead and stop the recording now. YouTube, there is a discount code, Potter Stocks, all caps 35. If you're interested in joining the Discord, that's on my website, Simple Stacks Investments. But other than that, if you guys are live with me tomorrow at 8:30, we'll begin again and look at these open prices. Hopefully, we get that fucking nasty Apple move, dude. I will. Oh. Anyway. Earnings, yeah. I think earnings could have some really bad guidance. So, all right. Thank you all. I'll see you later. Peace.